rephrase that shit, Raz. Like, you gotta hit me every day, pussy, everybody, J&D, everybody calling.
Done, I got you.
With you in this Chris Stokes shit, man.
I got you.
I need you to, like,
Raz B is back in the news again, and this time he went in on Jay-Z and Ray J for allegedly threatening his life and protecting Diddy. Raz B has been dragging Chris Stokes for over a decade now for allegedly touching him when he was still a kid. But it turns out it wasn't just Chris who was allegedly taking advantage of him, because new audio just leaked of Jay-Z, Ray J, and Diddy threatening Raz into silence because they were also allegedly part of the people who was messing with him. Apparently, Jay is seriously panicking about this because Raz has the power to expose him, and he knows it's just a matter of time before he does just that, especially since folks are also side-eyeing him and accusing him of being involved in all this depraved behavior. But before we get into all this mess, let's spin back on Raz a little bit, because he's been the loudest victim of the industry, but unfortunately, nobody believed him, and he eventually became one of the biggest outcasts of the industry. Raz first started all these allegations back in 2007 when he put out a YouTube video accusing his cousin and then manager Chris Stokes of allegedly SAing him and his brother Ricardo Thornton. Both him and Ricardo were signed to Chris's label TUG at the time, and according to Raz, Chris allegedly took advantage of the power that he had over them and did some very nasty things to them. Oh, but it gets worse. Raz claimed it wasn't just Chris who touched him. He also accused his label mate, Marcus Houston, of also touching him without his consent. Raz said Marcus actually picked up this depraved behavior from Chris because he was also essayed by Chris at some point too. And at some point, the allegations that Raz was making was beginning to make all the elites in the industry scared that he might spill some of the tea on them. So they began taunting the hell out of him. At one point, he even went live, frantically begging people for help because the police burst into his house without a warrant, and he was scared they were there to unalive him.
The police are at my door. They walk past my doorstep. I need help. I need help. No, I'm not safe. The police. Shauna, call everybody.
Now, despite Chris and Marcus denying these allegations, Raz has maintained this story and kept the allegations up for over a decade. That was until last year when he suddenly recanted these wild allegations that he had maintained for over a decade. And as you can expect, folks was not here for it and speculated that he was probably forced into doing that by some very powerful elites in the industry. He said, "I'm a made man, here it goes. Truth true. Mature, grown DeMario. After countless counseling, I was abused by my brother and others. They all used and abused me like a rag doll. By the time my cousin took custody over me, I was a mess. He was not my enemy. I focused all my pain, frustration, and anger built up from my past and took it out on my cousin, and I never understood why. Maybe because B2K broke up and he was no longer in my life. Chris was never my pain. He was my protector, my peace, and my friend. People like Steve and the terrible things in Cleveland I told him about, Ricky forcing me to do things, those are things I should have dealt with. Like all the monsters in my life that actually did these things to me. Chris was never the guy I made the world think he was. I remember why my cousin fought so hard to save me, because I needed him. And then I attacked the only person who helped me. It's time to let the world know the truth. Love you, my cuz. Chris, I pray you continue to be my peace and protector. I miss you. P.S. Marcus Houston has always been my favorite artist. Immature all day." But like I said, folks did not believe any of this, and they speculated that he was forced to say all this in order to stay alive. Mind you, Raz had kept these allegations about Chris for like a decade at that point, so folks really didn't understand why he decided to recant the allegations after all these years, unless somebody forced him to do that. One person said, "Baby, just say you was forced to put this up. Ain't no way you was going hard and speaking your truth about what Chris did to you. I honestly feel like this a cover-up for something else, and I hope you okay." Jay. Another person said, wait a dang minute. You was saying Chris Stokes did this to you for years now on YouTube. And the story changes? It's giving hacked. Cause what? Now this is where things started to get a little shady. Cause shortly after this, a video went viral of Ray J giving Raz a call and telling him that Jay-Z wanted him to recant the allegations about Chris. This was a huge shock to a lot of people because they didn't understand why Jay was getting himself involved in all this when it didn't have nothing to do with him. In the call, Ray J was telling Raz that he was receiving phone calls from J and Diddy telling him to give direct orders to Raz to recant the things he was saying about Chris, or else things was gonna get real ugly. Raz looked visibly scared about what Ray J was telling him over the phone because he's been in the industry long enough to know that J and Diddy were not bluffing and they really had the power to make his life a living hell if he didn't do what they wanted him to.
Done. I got you. I got you. I got you, Ray, and I need you to have me too, because I think I.
It's like, damn, like you didn't even really have to mention it. You know what I'm saying? Like you really didn't even have to mention it. But I know what you were saying, though. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I respect you, Ray. Nah, I would never want to disrespect you, your mom, or your sister.
But you know what I'm saying?
Later in that video, Raz even went on to tell Ray how exactly he was planning to recant this statement and how he was gonna make the whole thing look so organic so nobody suspects that he was talked into recanting these allegations.
What I do is I do some kind of like little video on World Star. I make it real organic, but I do like a little video where I'm playing a song or whatever, and I clear that for everybody or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I can either do it that way. Hold on.
I don't even want you to play the song, like I just want you to be like, cause I'm on a whole other page and like, you know, I got endorsers and shit, I'm getting a lot of paper now.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? Me. Now, I can't diss anybody that's any kind
Yep.
Ever since this video came out, a lot of people have been convinced that Jay was also in on it. And that's why he was out here doing all this dirty work. And when you think about it, these allegations ain't too far off because Jay used to be friends with almost all the in the country. From R. Kelly to Diddy to Russell Simmons, he was all they friend, which means he can't possibly be as innocent as he wants us to believe he is. In fact, folks have been digging into Jay since all this mess with Diddy even started, and they found out that he's been moving in the industry very similar to how Diddy was moving before he got caught. Like, for starters, there's been rumors that Jay-Z was allegedly messing with Foxy Brown when she was 15 and he was 30. Apparently, he tricked her into a relationship by promising to level up her career, but as soon as he had enough of her, he paid her off and got her blackballed.
But that ain't the only one that Jay had when she was underage. Y'all remember Foxy Brown and Jay? Ain't no woman like the one I got. No one could love you better.
Foxy seemingly confirmed these rumors about Jay messing with her when she posted this screenshot of her DMs with somebody telling them about how she has had to keep her mouth shut for all these years to stay alive. She said, "My story will shock you to your core. I don't play victim, but I had to step away for a minute for my sanity or I would have been dead." And there are the allegations about Jay allegedly being behind the death of his deceased pregnant mistress, Kathy White. At the time of her death, it was speculated that she had died from a brain aneurysm, but people believe she was taken out. And as usual, Jaguar Wright was the first person to start pushing that narrative.
Think about Claudia Jordan right now. Claudia Jordan don't ever mention my mother name. She mentioned it yesterday. Talking about why people are afraid to come forward. You mean like you? You was Diddy girl. Corey was Jay-Z girl. Why don't you claim your friend, Claudia?
So, Jack, when you say...
When I say Corey, I'm talking about Kathy White.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was about to ask.
Jay-Z's pregnant mistress, who died of an imaginary aneurysm. Just like the woman who was best friends with Kim and Kimura, who wrote the book, Bling, and died as soon as it made the bestsellers list. Who the was these people supposed to go to? You can't go to the boss because the boss is you. And the boss's boss don't get no Can't go to the authorities. They're all bought and paid for. You could try to get a special prosecutor, but they'll just pay somebody to reassign him to another case. Where the fuck you go when you get over by the industry? Nowhere. That's where you go nowhere, which is where people like me step in. You right? I go to Diddy parties to walk cause ain't nobody stopping me when I come. You Sean.
Hey, man.
Weirdo. I don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me. Ever. All I do is frustrate your AI. You can't quantify me. You can't even control your wife. You gonna handle a bitch like me. You can't even control that goofy bitch. You should have done a better job. Maybe she wouldn't have had to lose her mind on Kathy. Cause you ain't protecting you. You're protecting her. Wonder why?
And let's not forget about the speculations around Jay allegedly working hand in hand with R. Kelly to take out Aaliyah because she rejected them romantic advances.
I guess Jay was trying to get at her as well, and I didn't know. He was sending flowers and he was courting her.
Because the rumor originally was that you were connected to Jay.
Exactly. Jay and I were hanging out a lot. He's my homie. We had a lot of fun together, but we never dated like that.
I'm gonna leave it.
So you have a boyfriend in your life?
It's personal life.
As usual, people had their own thoughts about this. Like this person who said, people literally condemned Raz B, and he was just telling his story. Celebs in the industry laughed at him. And now that Diddy going down, it's crickets. Another person said, honestly, Ray J should be charged soon. Never trusted that little piece of ish. I'm sure he's been like a for these guys and a lot more. Hate that guy. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do y'all think of Jay-Z and Ray J getting exposed for silencing Raz B? And do y'all think Jay was really involved in all this? Y'all been knew what to do. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other very messy video.